Drake goons give Rick Ross the beat down at a festival in Vancouver for trying to play Not Like Us. What up, words? Your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Keep sending those Cashaps. We appreciate you. CLBMG. Listen. Canada, I need answers, bruh. Oh, Canada, I need answers. What happened, bro? I'm going to tell you what I saw. So now, by now, many of you have already seen the video of Rick Ross getting duffed on and his team getting their ass beat by some quote-unquote goons, right? We're using that word loosely. Goons, thugs, and whatever else you want to have. But what I saw was a man getting reminded to stop playing. I'm just going to be honest, and I know a lot of people are going to take the narrative of, oh, we don't want violence in this beef. We already saw what happened to Tupac and Biggie and all this good stuff like that there. Let's just start here. This ain't Tupac and Biggie, right? Those beefs had way more moving pieces. There was way more money involved. And those murders had a lot more to do with a lot of other things in the streets than rapping. This beef with Drake and Kendrick is rapping. Let's start there. Rick Ross inserted himself into this beef over what I consider to be nonsense. I'm just going to be honest, and I'm going to be the first to tell you that I don't find this in any way or form wrong, because what the problem is, when you're in these problems with this rap beefs and whatever else, and you go to someone else's community, you got to move accordingly. Now, Rick Ross was approached and his team was attacked in Vancouver, Canada, which is Drake's home, close to Drake's hometown. I think Drake owns all of Canada. I watched the video and I saw many things wrong with how Rick Ross was moving in this video. First of all, let's just get started. Rick Ross has declared himself having a problem with Drake, literally out of nowhere. Right after Kendrick dropped the Like That verse, here comes Rick Ross with his alleged problem with Drake. Now, my problem with Rick Ross coming out of nowhere was you got about 5-6 songs with Drake, right? You got at least 5 or 6. That's years of working together. So all of a sudden, you come out dissing Drake, calling him white boy. You dissing him. Because of what? Because he supposedly put a cease and desist on a record with French Montana, right? Now, if I got mad tracks with you and we boys and whatever, this just me, I'm gonna call you. Before I make a diss track, before I go to the public, before anybody knows we got beef, I'm gonna say, yo, Drizzy, Aubrey, whatever we calling each other, what's the reason for the cease and desist on the record with Frenchie? Just let me know so I'll know. I don't know what you two got going on. Now, I think he put a cease and desist on the record because he was dealing with the Kendrick thing and he didn't want no records out. He probably put a cease and desist on probably 10, 15 records, right? But in my opinion, if you got a problem with me, just call me, bro. Throw me a text. I've dealt with many issues over the years with a simple phone call. And 9 times out of 10, the ones that go to social media with the problem is the problem. It's a sucker thing. To instead of talking to me, you going to social media. And usually when they go to social media, I block them and I'm done. I move on, right? Somebody dissing you on social media is usually a sucker looking for attention. I'm just going to be honest with you. So the simple fact of the matter is, Rick Ross I have to put him in that category a sucker looking for attention. Now, I'm not calling him a sucker. I don't need dudes coming after me. But at the same time, that's a sucker move. You make a whole song, champagne moments, right? You promoting the song. I believe t-shirts were made, all kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. Get your money, do what you got to do. But I feel like in the first place, no matter how Drake and Kendrick fell out, Rick Ross was supposed to reach out to that man. But Rick Ross' baby mother been saying Rick Ross had issue with Drake for years and never was saying nothing. I think it's more to it than you put a cease and that's not enough. That's not enough. French Montana didn't even come out against Drake. How is Rick Ross going to come out against Drake when French Montana didn't even come out against Drake? And I think other artists of Rick Ross were dissed and Rick Ross said nothing to the other person. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. That other artists, Wale, Meek Mill, different artists of Rick Ross were dissed in this way or that way, and Rick Ross didn't get in the middle of it. So to say I unfollowed you because you put a cease and desist on French Montana's record, okay, do that then. But then you made a whole diss record, right? So now we going next level over a cease and desist. But the bigger issue is, in my opinion, and this is why I don't take this, everybody's, well, not everybody, but some people are like, it should never turn to violence. Well, sometimes, I'm just going to be honest, and we already know who punched Rick Ross. Is a rapper out of, what they say, the British Columbia. Is a Canadian rapper, white guy. I believe they said his name was Icarus. A white rapper named Icarus is who was in the melee. The first one to punch Rick Ross, right? He's out of Canada, and he... white guy, biker, they say he's a Hell's Angel, got a man bun and all that. I wouldn't want no smoke with these dudes. That's what Rick Ross underestimated. But this is what I want to say. When you go to somebody's city, right? All of that's his city. Let's just be honest. That's like going to LA, but you in like Oakland or somewhere else, and you trying to diss Kendrick, and you still in California. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. You don't move like he moved. They should never be able to corner you in the crowd. That's reckless. The problem with this is his security should not even have let that stop. They should have been a moving freight train of just nonstop. But you know why they wasn't? Because he thought it was sweet. He got a reminder that ain't nothing sweet nowhere. All that boss talk gonna be tough now. You're gonna either amp up security or you're gonna chill out. You try to play not like us in this man's home state and then walk through the crowd like it's sweet. Art of war engagement, bro. That's not how you do this. That's not how, expect that. Dead ass. And I'm gonna go it even further. Rick Ross had that coming for how he been moving. Rick Ross been real disrespectful to a lot of people lately, right? Whether they deserved it or not. And Rick Ross goes into and plays a song by another artist that has nothing to do with him and tries to walk through the crowd while the song is playing. It's daring people. It's I dare you. That's what he was doing. I'm just going to be honest. Rick Ross was like, I know y'all not going to do nothing. I could do anything here I want to. And you won't touch me. He only had like 3 or 4 security guards who end up getting straight up slumped. I'm going to tell you, boy, I'll be honest with you. First of all, I don't want to fight nobody. But fighting 4, 5, 6 crazy white boys with nothing to lose on their home turf, you could tell Rick Ross didn't know what was going on. He wanted to protect himself and look manly and stuff, but he was not. He was a little scared, all of them. This dude hit him and his beer flew up and whatever he's drinking, he's like, oh, they really hit me. It was a wake-up call. It shocked him back to reality. Dude, you can be touched. You're in a room full of thousands of people walking with 3 security guards, walking slow at that. First of all, your convoy is not supposed to stop. You ain't supposed to go the way you went. Is that how they do at festivals? They just bring you through like 1,000 people to get to where you going? I don't know. Is that how these festivals are? Because anybody can get touched at that point. And let's be honest, the venue's going to have a problem. Rick Ross probably going to sue the venue. Because you shouldn't be able to touch Rick Ross in your venue. And then they was fighting about 3-4 minutes. Before the camera even came on, they was arguing. Camera came on at 2 minutes in. And the video was already 2.5 minutes. And they was arguing before they started recording. Where's this venue security? Where the Vancouver police? He gonna have a field day with this, but he got what he deserved because the simple fact, you don't go to this man's city, try to play a diss record, and then walk through the crowd while the diss record's playing. It's not very boss-like. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. Just gonna be honest. It's an awful way to move. Rick Ross been moving very, very reckless. Very reckless for a man who almost got smoked a couple years ago. Right? Remember that encounter where the car rode double back and they was shooting at him in front of some restaurant and almost hit him. The car got all these bullet holes in it. I feel like Rick Ross is playing with fire. Not that Drake is the tough, but that's the thing. It's never going to be the rapper you're dissing that's doing whatever he's doing. It's not going to be the rapper. That's what I'm thinking. This guy is like this. He's thinking Drake is Saul. Well, it ain't going to always be Drake. It ain't going to always be Drake. Now, I'm not going to do nothing to somebody over another rapper getting dissed, but there's other people out there that's going to feel you're disrespecting the whole city. And let's be honest, he's disrespecting the entire city. If he can walk through a crowd with 3 securities and play a diss record that's dissing the man from Canada, and you're in Canada, you feel like y'all ain't going to do nothing about it. That's literally what he's telling you. Y'all ain't going to do nothing about it. So at the end of the day, what we saw was a man get reminded, don't play games in somebody else's city and move accordingly. They should have been a freight train, right through that whole crowd. It shouldn't even have been a conversation because they shouldn't even have been able to start. See, when you give somebody that kind of time to look you in the eye and find out that you're really scared, they're going to start thinking, oh, I got him. You boxed in. You're in a city that you don't live in. You don't know these people. So once they slowed your freight train down and you started a conversation, you were lost. You already lost. They shouldn't even have been able to work themselves up with a conversation with you. Move. Your security should have been move. They would have had to hit you while you was moving. When you stood there with that cup in your hand, you became a target. They could have done anything to you at that point. You lucky you didn't get mashed out and Rick Ross low-key ran off. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Your security should have kept that whole thing moving and they should have been knocking out anybody. They should have had stun guns and everything else. You don't need no gun, but you could have had some pepper spray. You could have pepper sprayed that whole scene and got out of there safely. You see Charleston White have pepper spray at all times. Rick, you need to move accordingly. Second of all, you and Drake either need to get on the phone or this going to be all out war because now they're going to be trying to find you and you're going to be trying to find them. And then now it's going to get silly. Rick Ross needs to take his L, right? He needs to remind himself how to move accordingly. And he needs to remember where he is at all times. This is not the first time Rick Ross got pressed at a show. All that boss talk and all that big talk is cool until they come for real. Slow down, gather yourself, chill out, right? And for the Drake fans, this is not a win for Drake. This is a reminder that you shouldn't play with a man in his own city. The only problem with this is now it's going to be open season on people going after Drake when he comes to their city. This is not really a win for Drake. Now he got to move even more accordingly. The thing was dying down. Let me just be honest. Rick Ross stirred it up at this point. Rick Ross stirred up something he shouldn't have stirred up. Because now this whole thing is back on. And now it's going to be, we looking for this. We trying to get clout. This guy got mad clout. This Icarus guy. He got mad clout for this. They said he deleted his Instagram, but it doesn't matter. At this point, he going to always be the dude that duffed on Rick Ross. Now, at the end of the day, you can't commit crimes in Canada. So we'll see where this goes. I don't even know how Hell's Angels even exist in Canada because they're not even supposed to be able to do crimes up there. But it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments. CLBMG. Ricky, you got to move better. If you like the program, hit the like button, hit that subscribe, hit them CLBMG cash apps. I really appreciate them. I love it when y'all send that. You know what I mean? We got a lot of equipment around here. We doing big shows every Wednesday night. We go live on the What Show. We cover all kind of hip-hop, sports, all kind of quirky stories. We do that every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. CLBMG Network. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace out. Elevate your mind with high-quality THC-infused products. BlackYeti.com. black-yeti.com.
CLB.